Tonya, I think you and I have both experienced the loss of our parents, and it's, we roll through life and we don't really think about death and the end of life, but it comes, and it's a very difficult time for those left behind to take care of those that have left us.
Carolyn Brent is on the phone for us. She is the author of Why Wait? The Baby Boomer's Guide to Preparing Emotionally, Financially, and Legally for a Parent's Death. She's going to be talking with us today about critical end-of-life topics affecting millions of baby boomers and parents they care for. Carolyn, great topic. It's a topic that is always timely. This is a topic that will never go away. It'll be timely for someone, some point in time on the planet at all times. Carolyn, the premise of the book, I think you have the telltale signs indicating your parents can no longer live alone, which I found very interesting, things that escape our notice many times. Carolyn, the inspiration behind the book.
The inspiration behind the book was I had taken care of my dad for approximately 12 years. As a result of caring for my father, I was one of 8 siblings, and nobody else in my family would help me to care for my dad. However, as soon as my family thought Dad was dying, then all of a sudden, unexpectedly, I'm dragged through probate court because my family was looking for what they thought was money. And that's what inspired me, because there isn't any safeguards in place to protect the long-standing good caregiver that's cared for a parent.
Let me say something. Excuse me for just a second. I have learned and I have heard that when it comes to either death, end of life, or preceding the years or the moments or the months close to death, brings out the best in family members and the worst in family members. Did you experience that?
And the best that it brings out in family members, if they have a plan in place, there's nothing to fight about. However, if there's any type of gray areas, such as, not having a power of attorney, or not having a medical directive, or not having things in place in both federal agency and also state agency, that's when it gets sticky and it gets nasty, and probate is definitely where people end up.
Yeah, unfortunately, Carolyn, death is a complicated issue. I want to ask you now about the signs that your parents can no longer live alone. I know my parents lived a long, long time. What signs should we be looking for that will give us an indication that it's time to take over, perhaps?
Well, first of all, safety, Lou, is a key telltale sign right there. When you know that your parents, they're cooking their food, every now and then a person will leave maybe the stove on. Excuse me, but when a parent is literally burning down their kitchen every other week, or getting in their car and they're driving and they're ending up in another state because they can't find their house, that's telling you something's wrong with mom or dad, or even something even more simple. In my case, my dad was a very immaculate, meticulous man. I flew to Colorado to visit Dad. His house was in a disarray. He was eating food that was spoiled in his refrigerator that had been there for months. And I said, "What is wrong with Dad?" And he was wearing the same clothing that he had on for possibly months. That's what it smelled like. And that's when I realized there's something wrong with Dad.
Carolyn, this is a very serious topic, and with all serious topics, sometimes we like to add a little levity, and by no means making light of the situation of someone dying or critical end-of-life issues. But your number 9, I just have to point on it. They are just acting plain weird. Well, when my parents' case, that probably wasn't, they always acted weird. I'm just joking on that, but I like your number 9, because sometimes they do just act weird.
Absolutely. They don't know that something's going on, but they feel, the parents, like my dad, he kept counting like his change in his pocket over and over and over again. I mean, I kept thinking, Dad, why are you counting, pennies in your pocket or quarters in your pocket over and over again? That's a telltale sign, and that's when you just want to go and take your parent to a geriatric specialist that specializes in, senior care, and they'll be able to really help. And the only reason why I say a geriatric specialist, they're able to identify those telltale signs straight off the bat because that's their specialty.
Yeah, Carolyn, what about, you know, all of them, at least my parents, very stubborn. They want to live in the house. They can take care of themselves. When is the appropriate time to talk about them, about the crucial emotional and the financial and legal conversations? When's the best time to address those?
Well, actually, now is the best time, regardless of how stubborn the parent is. It'll help the parent to sober up when you share with the parents, Mom or Dad, do you want a stranger like the state to make end-of-life issues for you? And then when you present it and just say, Mom, or Dad, what's your 5 wishes? You know, who do you want to be your medical directive? Or let's put a medical directive just in case something happens to you. What type of medical treatment do you want? Do you want to be resuscitated? Mom or Dad, what do you want? And then the key thing is, Mom or Dad, what legacy do you want to leave to this planet? How do you want people to view you? Or let's say if you get sick, Mom or Dad, you know, what type of treatment do you really want? So if you pose it like that when they're clearly in the driver's seat, they won't look at the standpoint that you're trying to take something away from them.
Exactly. And another point, Carolyn, when you're talking to them when they're still in the driver's seat, just a point-blank question like, you know, Mom and Dad, do you want to really leave this huge mess for us?
Absolutely.
Can we take care of it now and
good
make it more simplistic when the time comes?
Absolutely.
Carolyn, thanks so much. Your book is available where?
It's available on caregiverstory.com. Everything.
Excellent, Carolyn.
Terrific.
Great
Carolyn,
conversation.
thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. When we come back, there is a parent kit. There may not be a manual when the child arrives, but I guess there's a parent kit that will aid you, of course, that birth to 13, 18 months. We're going to talk about first things first when we come back.